Hello everybody, welcome to this live broadcast presented by MyGrowth OnPoint. My name is Almarie. I'm going to chat to you quickly about what Bitcoin is doing and the effect of Powell's announcements last night. He actually gave fairly bullish news. It didn't have a huge impact on the market, but had it been negative news, it would have had a huge impact. So that's the positive part of it. Although there were no substantial spikes, the drop would have been substantial if the news was more negative than expected. So the 0.25 base points that were announced was expected and basically already phased into price action by the time the actual announcement happened. So if we look at the day chart for Bitcoin, we can see that yesterday we closed with a green candle with a nice high wick to the upside. The action is not very strong yet. So you can see this was a very violent candle to the downside over here. And ever since the candles going upwards are fairly weak. They are also too tiny to be classified as the typical three white soldiers, which would have indicated a very strong trend reversal. But I will not describe this as three white soldiers. The bodies are too small, too short. Bitcoin is still not able to break through this very, very long-term resistance line, which previously was support. I just want to remind you where it's actually coming from. If we go back to the weekly chart, you will see for the first time Bitcoin managed to break through this resistance in December 2020. So it's almost 3 years later and it's not getting there again. It managed to stay above the line until basically this point in May 2022, which is a little bit more than a year ago. So since last year we have been trading below this resistance line. We did manage to sort of wick out of it on a weekly time frame a few times. We are pushing and pushing and pushing, but not yet managing to confidently break through. So going back to your daily chart, that's the line that's been coming since December 2020. You can see we have been jumping up and down but not managing, and actually the bears are winning the fight right now. So unless something happens in the market, as we predicted, I still say that we have to properly fill this imbalance. You will see we filled about half of it with this move to the downside last week. But typically of these imbalances, when price starts moving there, they get filled properly. You get proper consolidation in those areas, like say for instance these areas, or you can see there where this imbalance over here was filled. It stayed there for quite some time and retested it before price cleared well above it. So still be careful for the imbalance, and when Bitcoin hits that 30,000 or 31 USDT again, you can safely put in a short trade, because it will come down to fill the imbalance right down to 28,400 on a shorter time frame. Maybe for what it's worth, you will see Bitcoin has been trading below the histogram here on the MACD for a very long time. It went below it last on 16 July, so it's basically 2 weeks later, and we're still below it. It did give us a green signal now, so hopefully it's able to push through, and then we might see that upwards movement that's going to take us to that weekly resistance line, where that level will be retested once more. So for short term, that you can put in a long from here up to 30,500, but once that zone is reached, it is time to put in your short trades to towards and chase that 28,500 target. So that's it for Bitcoin for now. Coins I have identified, I just want to mention, you see this candle over here, right there. If you zoom in a little bit, that one with a long wick to the upside, that was exactly the candle that formed when Powell delivered his speech last night. So there was sort of a bull trap, thinking, okay, news is good, there's good news, there's no bad news, and the bulls started pushing the price up, but the institutions said no, it's not yet time, price has to come down to consolidate in this range once more. So that was that blue candle over there, that was the speech candle. It wicked out a lot of longs and shorts in a matter of 4 hours. You can see where it went to the top and came back right down to the bottom again. If we do look at Bitcoin, maybe start at the DXY, because this is the US dollar index. And what's nice about this graph is that if this comes down, it means usually for stocks and crypto and other commodities an upside, and currently it's coming down rather strongly. RSI still has to turn, it's not even at its weakest point yet, and MACD is trading below the histogram, volume is decreasing. So as long as this is declining, it's a good sign for crypto. Bitcoin dominance, we have a look at that quickly. Also hovering here around this support resistance level. It's good for us if it trades below the level. It's nice for, sorry about that. That's very favorable for altcoins. If Bitcoin dominance is below that 50% mark, it means altcoins are getting the other half and plus of the market. If we're looking for trades for this week, maybe, or over the weekend, coins that I've seen that still has a lot of potential. Kava is one. I'm definitely gonna put out a signal on Kava somewhere. You will see those nice imbalance areas there and there and there that has to be filled. It has formed a cup and handle. It retested the neckline and it's now on its way up. If you look at the MACD, the stochastic RSI, and the increasing volume, very good potential here in Kava. AGLD, we had in our paid signals group a short trade here, which initially missed the mark but came down and actually reached all our targets. So now it's in that channel. It will be going up and down until it breaks structure, but if it goes up, those are the levels that will be tested again to the upside this time. So AGLD is a nice opportunity. Unfi had a crazy week, so please don't enter it now. It has to retrace severely, but the volatility here is awesome. And if you look at your daily time frames, well, I even went as far back as the weekly just to show you where did it come from initially. How it was a really high at some point. It won't reach those levels very soon again, but these levels here at 7.61 is quite attainable. That's quite possible to reach within the near future, and that will basically double your investment if you have the patience to wait for it to reach those resistance levels again. Back to the 4-hour chart. Just to recap, we did speak about LPT last week. I think it's still in a very good uptrend. Lots of potential to the upside there still. So for me, LPT is still a yes. DYDX is also still for me a yes, as long as it stays above this line. We said we've got an ascending triangle here, and if it breaks out, our target will be that portion to the upside. Let's just make it a bit smaller. You can see it's quite a distance that it will travel to the upside. Maybe the daily will give us a clearer picture. There you can see the channel that we are hunting. there was a lot of price action in this channel, so you can be sure there will be action again in that area. It is an area of interest for DYDX. So if it manages to break through that ascending triangle, you can trade it in that range. At the moment it's a no trade. You need to wait for it to break out of or through that resistance line, and the moment that resistance line becomes your support, it will be a very good idea to trade it. Not much action yet in Litecoin. I don't know when we're going to start seeing good moves here because of their halving, but it's really around the corner. It's a week or two. I think 3 or 5 August is the Litecoin halving, and then there's going to be real favorable volatility, so make use of that opportunity when it comes. Ethereum looks very similar to Bitcoin, also stuck in the zone, so it will follow Bitcoin. I'm not going to say much more about that. So that's all for me for today. We will be live on Zoom 2 o'clock. It's an open Zoom. You're welcome to join us. Invite your friends. The link is in the description below. And then in August we are looking at hosting a bootcamp course again for beginners who want to trade. So if you know of people or you yourself want to upskill or just get back to basics, then join us more or less from 15 August. The marketing material will still go up. We are in the process of finalizing that curriculum, and then we will start sending out our invitations for the course. We only take 20 students, so if you are interested, make sure you register in time and you join us. Then I hope to see you 2 o'clock, and if you're not there, then Tuesday next week we will be on YouTube live again. Thanks for joining me today.